It's a holiday story. It's a family story. It's a story of thousands of twinkling lights and countless memories. A story of crackling fireplaces and candlelight Christmas evenings, where the sounds of sleigh bells and carols echo all around. It's a story of peace and togetherness, of glittering ornaments, fragrant wreaths, and wide-eyed wonder. It's the enchanting story of a beloved tradition at America's largest home, with 250 magnificently decorated rooms, each with its own stories to tell. But all this can't begin to tell the full story of Christmas at Biltmore. Come walk in the footsteps of the Vanderbilt family and immerse yourself in a winter wonderland of endless holiday delights. Because as wondrous as the story of Christmas at Biltmore may be, it can never be complete without you. Plan your visit at Biltmore.com.
Why don't more infant formula companies use organic, grass-fed whole milk instead of skim? Why don't more infant formula companies use the latest breast milk science? Why don't more infant formula companies run their own clinical trials? Why don't more infant formula companies use more of the proteins found in breast milk? Why don't more infant formula companies have their own factories instead of outsourcing their manufacturing? We wondered the same thing. So we made ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
In the year 247, in the age of judges, Vartan was summoned home by a letter stating that his father had died under mysterious circumstances. Upon returning home, Vartan opened his mind that the possibility that his father's death in his hometown of Eterno was not everything that it appeared to be. Welcome to Ethereal Embrace. Sometimes everything goes according to plan, and a big fight goes much smoother than anticipated. I mean, I'm not complaining, but Morsey could have at least stabbed me or something. Anyway, I'm glad we won.
Day 4. Late morning. The forest at the Hidden Cave's entrance. Greystone says, "Shall we go then?" And starts to walk back towards the town.
Yeah.
Making a way downtown. Walking.
I was watching White Girls earlier. Or White Chicks. Yeah,
White Chicks.
Did you say hot girls?
I said White Girls.
Oh, okay.
So Greystone walks with you and says, "I believe your father was using those portals to try and expand the magic of Eterno around the entire continent of Isan. I think he was trying to tap into the extraplanar magic. Again, I didn't have much to back up these beliefs, but I think now, from hearing about these types of demons, from hearing what has plagued the town, it's just more proof that he worked with Emery, whether she knew or not, to build magic around this portal that invited entities in from another realm."
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the conclusion we came to. Just didn't know who all was involved.
However, like your tone really feels like you're gonna possibly punish Emery. That's not the case, right?
I wanted to hold Emery accountable to some degree, but Timorin would not have it. That was a concession I've already made, and it appears that you agree with him.
Emery was doing what Kyrian wanted her to, without knowing exactly what was said between them. We don't know how compliant she was, how much exactly she knew she was doing, so holding her accountable wouldn't serve a purpose. She may have just been on surface level helping, doing minimal things here and there. So without knowing exactly how involved she was, holding her accountable for what Kyrian did wouldn't be fair to her.
If you believe that Kyrian had the faculties and the ability to convince Emery to do these things without her complete understanding, then I will trust your word on it.
Kyrian's always been a bright furbog, so I have no hesitation in believing that he was capable of getting people to do the things that he wanted them to do without giving away exactly what he was doing.
Yeah. And I'll also point out that he was having Emery put magic that he could use in other items like stones and scrolls and stuff like that. Hell, I was able to convince her to make me a scroll to dig stuff for free. Like, I was also able to convince her to just give me fire potions. So, wizard's fire. I'm not too keen with all the magic stuff, but I mean, you ask her to do something, she's gonna do it. So,
and unless there's a way to tell who casts a certain spell, there's no way to know how much of those tunnels she dug out and how much Kyrian dug out.
Well, then I believe I owe Timorin an apology. Thank you for your wise words.
Baya whispers to the other two and says, "You know, we never did ask Emery what reason Kyrian gave her to create those portals."
Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about it. Asking why. Or how.
Wouldn't she ask why, though? When she's doing this big magic for him that took quite a while. Surely she would ask why.
Seems like useful information now.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think we should ask her.
We talked to her. She seemed pleasantly ignorant, right?
Kyrian could have come up with some excuse, and she just bought it. She didn't seem to be the conniving, sneaky type, so she may have just bought any excuse he gave her off the cuff.
She was also kind of smitten with Kyrian as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that we're safe here.
So Bastille wrote those letters back to the churches, telling them what's going on in Eterno, and he said he is worried more people will come. Is there a way? How hard is it to find Eterno?
Eterno does not want to be found. It is its own magical entity. Whatever contains the magic in this town also pushes things away. I don't know what it is. There are certain areas even around Eterno that appear to have that same effect, where you don't want to go to it. You don't want to enter that room. You don't want to unlock that door. Eterno has this random effect that encircles the entire city. And I hope that is enough to dissuade the Church of Greyhawk from sending any more.
Good.
Bastille is a bit eccentric. I'm hoping that might be the only reason he was able to pursue and break through that barrier.
That's all I got. That was the only thing I was concerned with.
So I just had a thought back on like early sessions and finding that basement door. I think Kyrian learned how to
control
harness the magic.
Yeah. Like use that same magic that's around the town on different things, because we didn't know about that. We didn't even think about going down that door until like we broke it with a perception check, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
I wonder what else around town is protected that Kyrian is hiding.
But yeah, that was just a side thought based on what Greyhawk just said.
For sure.
Or
And also
Greystone, yeah.
Also, Kyrian did keep quite a few journals, so maybe there's a journal that we don't want to find.
Yeah. Maybe something on my mother. Greystone, do you know anything about my mother and her still being alive?
I do not know anything about your mother still being alive. If you believe she is still alive for some reason, I promise you I will do everything in my power to help you find her.
I appreciate that. Although I'm not quite sure finding her would be a good thing either. So,
in my experience, people who do not want to be found should not be found.
Just surrounded by wise men today, huh?
I don't have anything else.
For Greystone, no.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know why Baya feels like she has this relationship with Greystone, but just like she wants to like pinch his cheek and say, you know, thank you. Like he's her son or something. Like little cute nephew. But yeah, sure. Baya reaches up and, you know, does a very light pinch. It's definitely not going to hurt. It's just very light pinch of his cheek and says, you know, you're an amazing person and I appreciate everything you've done for the town. And everything that you've done here since, you know, our return. And we'll keep that in mind about Susan, for sure. About not wanting to be found. It's a very good point.
He has a weird sideways glance when you pinch his cheek, but he doesn't say anything about it, just continues to walk. And after a few minutes, he starts to say something, but your minds drift off to all of the things, right? The demon's still there. The portal's still there, but nobody's going to go open it. It doesn't seem like now. You've resolved that. You've been able to save Talmika. Susan might still be alive. Emery seems to have been potentially taken advantage of by Kyrian to kind of build this security net around. Bastille informed the Church of Grey Hawk that this city is here and craziness is happening, especially with demons, and probably asked for reinforcements to help with the demons in his last missives. So you have a lot of thoughts going through your head on all of the events that happened. So you kind of are processing those thoughts in your head versus listening to what Greystone's talking about while you walk. And you find yourself at your house. You walked this entire way lost in your thoughts, and Greystone is standing next to you still, but you come to with him saying, "Vartan, I am going to go home now. Will you be okay?"
Well, yeah, I think I'm the one you should worry about the least around here.
I don't know how true that is, but I think for at least tonight, you'll be fine. Get some rest now. And he starts to turn on his heel and walk away.
All right. Hey, you have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night. Take care of yourself. Well, do we want to go grab some dinner and bring it back? Or
I could eat.
Yeah. We can get some...
Why don't we stop by the inn? Grab some dinner.
DoorDash.
Yeah. I'll just pick it up, get it to go.
Yeah. Maybe I'll find some daffodils on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we just go get one of everything to go.
Yeah.
Bring it back to the house.
Well, it's like 5 gold.
Yeah. 5 gold. Actually, it's on the house tonight with everything that happened. You do stop in Talmika's garden and find some daffodils growing that you could pick a few of. and deliver them to Cody.
Yeah, and just make sure that Cody saves one for himself.
You notice that Cody has already hung his sword back up. It's already been cleaned and oiled and is hanging back up above the bar. And he sets the daffodil in a little vase. He sets one of them in a little vase below his giant sword and leaves it there for himself.
Good.
And, you get your food.
Some coffee. We'll get some coffee to go to. Yeah.
Some late night coffee.
Yeah.
Sure. And as we sit down at the table, Baya says, this reminds me of our first night together. First meal.
Yeah, you're right. I did come in the evening and walked in here not expecting to see you two. And yeah, it's been a pretty eventful, couple days. Wow.
Seems like longer.
We flash back now to 3 nights ago, and you all are sitting around the table with a picnic basket full of cheeses and nuts and dried fruits and some carrots and stuff in there. Not a lot of food for all of you, but there's enough to munch on there. And you sit down at the table just after Vartan had dismissed Telmika and
Greystone.
So
Ovyck, what's your story?
I was born in the Yuquin Desert. Both my parents were human, actually. I'm the first to be a tiefling. My mom says she was seduced by a demon that had taken the shape of my father. Of course, nobody believed her. So he took off. After about a year, my mother stuck around for a little bit longer and then left me at the church, the Temple of the 12, and wandered off into the desert. So I was raised by the clergy, studying all the different gods. The many-faced god came to me in a dream, and I've been serving him ever since. He will give me a destination and a name, and I will find that person and be there for them when they cross over. And that is my entire purpose for living now, is to just help people cross over. And the many-faced God gave me your father's name.
Yeah. Man, that's some story there. Well, maybe you can help me. Well, what about you, Baya?
Well, my story actually starts in Eterno.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I grew up with your father, Kyrian. He was my very first friend in this world. The only thing that could possibly take me away from him was a woman. Actually, 2 women. Your mother, Susan, and my wife, Willa. Me and Willa decided to leave Eterno, and we had a few kids, and Willa passed away. My story is not quite as exciting as Ovyck's here, but I found passing comfort with a trader who arrived at our village shortly after Willa had passed. While our tryst only lasted a few months, the consequences kind of lasted a lifetime. Apparently, the traveler cursed me, and as they left town, I became no more. Nobody could see me or hear me in the corporeal world. I did somehow get a letter from Telmika. She still had my address from when I left, and I watched my great-grandchildren open this letter and read it and saw that Kyrian had passed and wanted to come back and pay my respects. And that's why I'm here. Somehow you can see me and hear me. as well as Ovyck. So I think this is exactly where I need to be.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with your connection with my father. I don't know. All three of us are connected to him in some way. Ovyck got the name, and you grew up with him, and I'm his son.
It is very comforting to see you, though, Vartan. You look just like your father, as I remember him.
I'm going to reach into the picnic basket and feel around. There's not much left. There ain't no food in the house, and we'll leave this for in the morning. So what do y'all say we go inside? I'll light up the fire in the library, and we'll relax a bit before getting to bed, get a good night's sleep, and start figuring out what's going on.
Yeah, there's quite a few things in the library that I was wanting to look at anyway.
The alcohol's in there, so I'll have a drink.
All right. Yeah, I'll join you on that. We head in.
Night 1. Judge Greystone meets with Timorin Windcurl. Timorin, I just met with Vartan. He's back home. Alright. How's the young man doing? Is he holding up alright after the news of his father? I'm not sure. I sense that there is something wrong with him, but I chalk it up to grief at this point. He was acting strange, but who knows how we would act if we were in his shoes. I take it that you still want the boy to take his father's role? I do. I believe that he is the best suited for the role. You know that I care for the boy, but you have to agree, he may not be the one cut out for it. Who knows where he's been these last years? And you know that he had that disagreement with his father before he took off. What it was about I could not tell you, but what if he does not want his father's mantle? He has shown no commitment to this town. Cody has chosen to come here. I stand by my initial thoughts that he is the better fit. Let's give the boy some time to deal with his grief. Then we can see what he intends to do after his father's estates are settled. Maybe we can get a glimpse into what he's been doing this last decade. You talk to Cody, I'll talk to Brasscane. We can let them know about Vartan. I don't want to push him right now and cause him to become more unstable. He has enough to deal with. Greystone, you're not doing much to raise my confidence in the boy, but I will agree to talk to Cody and let him know. In the meantime, you and I appear to have a demon problem that we need to focus on. Night 1. Late evening. The Temple of Greyhawk. Talmika comes in from the gardens. Bastille, are you in here? I stopped over and visited Vartan today. He's Kirian's son. I don't know if I told you about him yet. He's looking very healthy. It's so nice to see him, and I'm glad he received my letter. That poor boy has gone through so much in his lifetime. Between his mother leaving and then passing on, and now his father while he was gone. I can't imagine what he must be going through. Bastille, is that you in the sanctuary? Will you light some candles for Greyhawk? I don't believe I did them earlier today. Anyway, Greystone and I dropped off a basket of food for him. I do hope he liked it. I'm going to make him some delicious foods. I've got a whole menu planned out for this week. What do you think of zucchini bread in the morning? I could make enough in the morning for us to have some and enough to take some over to Vartan. Wouldn't that be lovely, Bastille? I did note Vartan seemed very odd today when I stopped by. It seemed like Greystone had the same idea, but best not to dwell on it too much. He's really gone through a lot and is just now starting the grieving process. In any rate, Bastille, did you wipe down the pews today? I'm really hoping that now that Magno has defeated one of those demon creatures, we can start seeing some participation in the evening prayers. Bastille, are you listening to me in there?
No Bastille here.
Night 1, Kirian's house. Alright, so you head into the library, you get the fire going. You know, everybody who wants a drink gets a nice drink of good Furbog whiskey. And it's very tasty. You're standing around the fire, and the Furbog's Justice is hanging up on the wall. The room is set up just for you guys to come in and have this little area. The lighting in the room is very yellow and flickering from the fire and the couple small candles that are in there. And a large mirror reflects the light from across from the fireplace to help brighten up the room.
Baya says, before we all call it a night, it's been so wonderful seeing you, Vartan, and honestly meeting you, Ovyck. I've never met anyone like you. Why don't we just bring it in for a big hug? It's a big hug. I could really use one.
Yeah, I think I would have been like standing at the fireplace, like leaning on the mantle and just sipping on the whiskey, and be like, yeah, and I'm gonna start walking over.
I'm not much of a hugger. There wasn't a lot of affection shown in the church.
Oh, get in here, Ovyck. You'll like it. Here, let me show you.
Ovyck will stand awkwardly.
Yeah, come on in here, buddy.
Sure what to do, and just kind of lean into it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna just put my big arms around both of them and just hug them tight, and while I'm looking in the mirror at the three of us.
Standing in the library, Vartan leans into the embrace, grinning with his teeth fully bared. He looks into the mirror and sees only the reflection of himself grinning back.
Ovyck and Baya aren't real. They're in your head.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Ethereal Embrace, and A Fool's Quest production. Vartan the Furbog Fighter is voiced and played by Adam Culbertson. Baya Rustin, the half-elf sorcerer, is voiced and played by Tisha. Ovyck, the Tiefling Cleric, is voiced and played by Chris Johnson. And I am Nico, your GM. Please remember to drop us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcatcher. Music provided in part by Midnight Syndicate, makers of the original Dungeons & Dragons soundtrack. If you would like to follow us on social media or say hello to the cast, details on where to find us will be in this episode's notes. Remember, be safe, we love you all, and stay foolish.
We're an Instacart family.
Oh my goodness, we saved so much time with same-day grocery delivery.
So we joined Instacart Plus.
And now we're saving more money.
We get unlimited free delivery on orders over $35.
5% credit back on pickup.
And a family account to shop together.
Did you know members save $460 a year when they order at least once a week?
I do now. See how much you'll save. Visit instacartplus.com for 2 weeks free. Average savings exclude membership fee. Individual savings may vary. Credit back excludes alcohol. Paid membership auto renews. Additional terms apply.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.